defense analysis.
Yeah, perfect. So just so we outline this properly, guys, this is a hand history review. This is not an actual live session. This is a hand history review. This is a strategy session. Ali, last Sunday, or like, I don't know, like 14 days ago, 12 days ago, something like that.
Yeah, 12 days ago.
12 days ago, shipped the Americas Cardroom, 50K guaranteed, kind of their late night 215 Sunday Major second chance for 13K. He absolutely crushed it, and a lot of you guys watched it live with hole cards down. Now we're going to see what was going on behind the scenes, and I think you're going to get a lot of surprises. Shy's Hand, thanks for the 10-month resub. Let's get stacking. So for the raggy hands, like 5-6 offsuit,
standard open
before, yeah, we're definitely just gonna skip over these and not waste any time analyzing them. Ace Jack, that's the bottom of your opening range under the gun, right?
Yeah, like I don't even open it on some tables, to be honest.
I agree. Well, it's weird how it just like instantly skips like all the folds. You don't have to click each person folding through. That's new. That's efficient. I kind of liked clicking each one. But whatever. Jack 7 suited on the button. You're probably opening this, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Raise and take. Yeah, I remember the first time I raised King Queen offsuit under the gun in on game, which is 10-handed tables, and Griffin looked at me. He's like, "I don't like that open, dude." I'm like, "What do you mean? I got King Queen." He's like, "Dude, you're playing 10-handed." It's like true. And then I would fold Ace Jack. I remember like this was way back in the day, but me and Ursins had debates where in the very first level of a tournament, when you're like super deep stacked, if it was actually profitable to open Ace Queen offsuit into the full table because of like reverse
It's profitable. It's profitable.
It's profitable, but it's not like crazy profitable, right? Like it is the bottom.
Yeah, like definitely.
Okay, so King 10, we got to raise from the button, got to defend, and the flop brings nothing interesting to you, so I just check fold. Senate Kid checks back, but the aces, like, I mean, my thoughts is when the ace come, that's one of the main things that he's checking back, so I would not stab this turn, but
exactly.
Pretty much bet like almost all other turns, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of turns are really good to bet there.
Yeah, so check fold, cool. Early stage is probably going to be pretty. Actually, I don't even need to look at that. D7's obviously a fold. King 9 only raised a folded 2. Okay, what are your thoughts about these kind of single tone flops, 10-7-5 all hearts? Are they boards that you see bet very often, or are they boards you stay away from?
I think there are two ways you can go about it. Actually, I think there's like two different strategies that are good. I think you could either bet like a third pot on like with your range there, or you could just check back range as well. I think either option is fine, because like, you know, there's a lot of like you're gonna get a lot of folds. You bet a third pot, it's definitely gonna be a profitable C bet, but you could also checking back here is gonna do a lot of good things.
Yeah, are your thoughts that basically no matter what size you bet, if they have a heart, they're gonna peel, so you might as well just go on the smaller side when you do bet?
Yeah, exactly. Like and like the amount of folds you get on a lot of these boards is like pretty astonishing, to be honest.
Yeah, because like it's hard enough to have a heart in your hand in the first place. When there's already 3 on board, that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
And then the lower the board, the better for betting, obviously, because it's just like, how many pairs does he have? Not that many.
Exactly.
And even the ones he has, they can't take too much heat because, well, overcard's going to roll off.
Yeah, like, even like calling him like 7-8 with no heart here is probably like not that great of a play in his spot.
Yeah. True. So we see about a third pot and take it down. Cool. Jack 9, you open this? This is like kind of bottom for the cutoff opening range? Nah, he folded it. He's respecting the big blind.
It depends. I open it sometimes, but like I think it's okay to fold as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think people get carried away with thinking they have to open all these hands in the early stage, especially because like, oh, I'm so deep stacked. I have so much play.
Well, the fact you're deep stacked and having Jack 9 off is not a good thing.
Yeah. Easier to get punished. Like, the deeper stacked you are, the more you get punished for playing loose.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with no annies.
Yeah. So 10-7 suited here, probably would have defended the big blind if, you know, Senate Kid didn't 3-bet Dridge, but he did, so easy fold on to the next one. We're just not going to play Queen 4, so...
The next hand's fun.
The 7-6 suities?
Yeah.
All right.
So like, I think it's a pretty standard overcall on the button. What do you think?
I agree. I'm curious if you would call if Old Painless hadn't called ahead of you.
I think I would. I think it plays really well, especially with being this deep. Like
Yeah.
these like being 150 big blinds deep. Like these are the kind of hands you want to play 150 big blinds deep
Yeah.
in position. So like, yeah, I would definitely peel still.
Definitely. I think any kind of hand is the hand you want to play when you're 150 lines deep.
True.
But like if we were 40 bigs deep, you probably just fold to her open, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, because we're really just speculating. We're looking for a lucky flop. We're really banking on our implied odds in this situation, which we'll find out if we have shortly. Oh, nice. That's a pretty good board for implied odds.
Yeah, in these kind of spots, like your stack size is like the most important thing. Like a lot of people like play two connectors when they're like I don't even raise like 7-8 suited under to go on like 25 big blinds deep. I just don't think it's that good. I'd rather raise like ace-8 off than 7-6 suited. But like when I'm 150 big blinds deep, I'm never raising ace-8 off. While I will raise 7-6 suited. So like being deeper is like makes these hands much better to play.
Yeah, like shallow. It's basically like when you're deep stacked, you want high implied odds hands, and when you're shallow stacked, you want high card value blocker hands.
Exactly.
Is basically it. So the great thing about this flop is obviously we have two pair, but in addition to that, we don't block any of the strong hands that the other players can have, by which I mean all the aces are still live. Someone can have the ace of hearts, ace of spades, ace of clubs, which means there are a lot more top pair, top kickers out there, top pair big kickers that can give us action. Whereas if we had like ace 7, it's sweet because we flop two pair, but we're a little less likely to get paid off because there's one less ace out there, and it's not like someone's going to pay us off with a 6. So bottom 2 on an ace high board is very, very high in terms of the implied odds category.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff Gross Poker in the chat.
Oh, we got JG. JG up in it. What up, Jeff Gross? He's been making some sick runs lately.
Right. What do you like? See, I mean, I think it's a pretty standard bet, but like, what do you think are hands that are checking in tri-mean spot that are going to peel the flop?
I think she could check with like her weakest aces, which
like
really aren't that
Ace-Jack?
many. Like ace jack, like
Yeah.
maybe like ace 10, ace 8 suited. There really aren't that many. Pocket pairs below the ace are probably check calling 1. You're not getting much value from them anyway.
Right.
And I think most draws she's probably betting. I guess.
I mean, like king, queen, and diamonds and stuff. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was trying to think of which draws you could check, and I was actually thinking of king high flush draws when you maybe could check. But
Maybe, but like the board's just so good for you when you're raising under the gun that you probably just want to barrel off that exact hand, blocking ace king and ace queen as well.
yeah, true. So yeah, I think there are not that many hands that are giving us value unless we get hit with a surprise check raise, but definitely got a bet. And
Yeah.
all right, so she check calls. 10 of diamonds.
Yeah, 10 of diamonds, like, it's actually, like, not that bad of a card, because it's pretty tough, unless she is checking a hand like king, queen of diamonds, but, like, I think if she has a hand like ace, queen, or ace, king, that she checked the flop somehow, I think that once I bet here, I think she should fold a lot of those hands unless she has a diamond, but I still think this is a pretty mandatory bet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think I got distracted by the chat for a second.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yes.
The ace hand, yeah, I think that, I mean, if she has a diamond, she's definitely calling again. If she doesn't have a diamond, she may stubbornly call one more and then fold the river, but you're only getting one more bet out of those hands anyway, and I think it's better to get that bet in now
Right.
when you're much more likely to get it than, say, on an 8 river, a 9 river, a diamond river. I think if you're almost guaranteed to get one more bet out of her anyway, you might as well do it when you have, like, almost a surefire shot of getting that bet as opposed to, say, a bet that you're going to get called like 75% of rivers or something like that.
Yeah, I agree, but it's just like in her spot, I don't think she should call a hand like ace queen or ace king with no diamond.
Yeah.
I think it's like a pretty huge losing play. I think a lot of people would call, but
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty huge losing play because I can't really have any bluffs in this spot, especially once the 10 of diamonds comes.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a very easy check fold in her spot unless she has a diamond in her hand.
But we know Triming. She's stubborn. So.
No, she told me she had her in his hand.
Okay. Okay. And I think it's like Ali said, like the 10 of diamonds, like, ooh, the draws got there, but we kind of ruled out that it's very rare that she actually has a flush draw or a straight draw. So
Yeah, and what do you think about the sizing on the turn?
I'd go bigger.
See, the problem is like when I bet this size, I'm trying to get heroed by the ace king, ace queen, and no diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I'm betting two pair here, I'm betting almost all my value combos here. So then my value range is pretty wide. So like, I think when your value range is not depolarized, I think you should be betting smaller. But I don't know.
Bro, how wide? You have like
Two pair is pretty wide here, man.
I'm saying how many like value combos do you actually? I don't know if we should talk in terms of combos and all that. Only like half the viewers will know what we're talking about.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I whatever. If she has like a big ace, I'm trying to think of how many outs that can counterfeit you. Two for the ace, three for the other, three for the 10. You're checking back on all diamonds.
It doesn't really matter if I get counterfeited, unless it's exactly an ace. Like if a 10 comes or whatever, I'm just gonna bluff river anyway, and she has to fold pretty much everything unless she has a flush. So like, I don't think the counterfeit part actually matters that much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she calls the bet. River's an 8. Probably check here. Yeah.
Yeah, I want her to bet, but I was just like, it's so hard to get value here.
I mean, if we already said it's pretty ambitious for her to call with a single pair aces on that turn, it's extremely ambitious for her to call on this river. I think it's really hard for you to get value here, and I think the check's probably
agreed. For sure.
So you do have results. You do know what she had.
She had ace queen with the queen of diamonds.
Ace queen, queen of diamonds. I was gonna guess ace jack with jack of diamonds, but yeah, that's cool.
She's a nit. She has an open ace jack with jack of diamonds under the gun.
Smart girl. All right, so next hand she's gonna pop you right back with a little 423 bet height.
This was a fun one.
Let's see 3. All right, tell me your thoughts when you are facing the c-bet on the 7-6 deuce board.
I should probably just fold, but I wanted to play a little bit with her. On this board, I think she should be betting her range, obviously, and like I do block queens and kings, which gives you some incentive to peel and bluff certain turns and rivers. But if I'm peeling every king queen offhand, then I'm probably just peeling too much. Like if I had king queen suited with hearts, diamonds, or clubs, I would happily peel. But with this exact hand, I think it should just be a fold.
I think that also these boards, they're great boards to c-bet, but if you actually look at the range of the pre-flop 3-better, it's mostly composed of high cards, and she misses this board a lot. So, it's you have more 7s and 6s and 2s that she has. Not that you have a ton of them, but you can still kind of rep more on this board than she can, and basically, other than her overpairs, you can move her off a lot. So you float. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's too profitable to play in general.
Yeah. So this turn's great for you, not so good for her.
But I want her to be trying me out of another.
You can represent a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna do.
Easy turn bet, and then the river is actually kind of interesting. What are your thoughts here? Because I end up giving up on this exact river, but I think it might be a bet.
Yeah, I think that most of her ace high combos are actually gonna just check fold to a turn bet there.
Yeah.
Because the pot's getting big and the board's really bad for them. So I think unless she has the ace high flush draw, she does not have an ace very much, or slow played aces. And the ace high flush draw may bet the turn too, so maybe that rules out like kind of half of them. It's really just a question whether or not she's gonna hero call you with like jacks on this river, and I think if you bet big enough, like if you bet like 2,800 to 3,200, you can probably fold her off her hand here 90% of the time.
I definitely agree. I think this is a really weakly played hand by me. I think if I'm gonna float and bet turn, I think a river bet is just mandatory here because I think her range here is just like jacks, queens, and like maybe tens. She probably bet tens on a turn, but jacks, queens, and kings. So I think this was really weak play on my part.
Yeah, when you bet the turn, I figured you were going to bet the river because I think a lot of the value in betting the turn is following it up with a big bet on the river because it's easy for her to check call one with an overpair on the turn, but when you call a 3-bet, peel the flop, bet the turn big, and bet the river big, you're repping a hand that's bigger than one pair.
Exactly, and like I have like 7s, deuces, and 6s here, while she doesn't, which is like a huge thing that I would play this exact way and then bet big on river.
Yeah.
So like, I think this is a misplayed hand by me.
Yeah. Okay, so we check back. She has queens, and she says she calls you down. Good check. Tricky. What if he bets all in for 2.5x pot? You can't call.
I would probably bet like 3K too. So that's really tough to call 3K here for like half her stack.
Yeah. All right, tell me about this 3-bet with ace 5 of clubs, because I would have just straight up folded pre-ante fifth
Yeah,
hand of the tournament.
like this guy is slightly looser than most, and it's easy. So I wasn't, and this like the hand three bet for me. Like I like three betting suited aces a lot, especially being this deep. So like if I'm gonna have a three bet bluff range, it would be a suited ace. Like ace five is like so perfect here. So like and I just lost a hand where I got caught. So like people don't assume that I'm willing to go for it again. So like me three betting next hand versus under the gun opener, it just looks super strong.
Yeah.
So
And
those are my thoughts on that.
yeah, and I think that these kind of like ace rag, even face rag 3-bets with these suited hands are actually better deep stack, because I feel like the nut flush draw potential or second nut flush draw potential semi bluffing opportunities have a lot more value in deep stack, because when you do crack the big pair, you get paid way more. Whereas like shallow stack, probably just better to 3-bet hands like king jack, king 10, king queen.
I think there are so many boards that I can barrel on here, and I don't expect to get 4-bet like ever. I don't know if he has like aces, because like my 3-bet looks so strong, and if he has queens, he's not going to want to get it in with me, so he's not even going to 4-bet a hand like queens. Maybe he'll 4-bet kings, like, but that's still like kind of close in general. So like I don't really expect to get 4-bet here too often, or like bluffed out with a 4-bet. So I feel pretty good about this spot.
I'm curious, do you like this 3-bet more against the early position raise than you would against the middle position, because he just has to give you so much credit for attacking that like super strong range?
Yeah, I think it looks really strong, but you know, his range is strong. Like he's not just gonna fold like everything he opens here. Like he does have a strong range, so that's obviously a thing that kind of ruins what I'm trying to do here. But at the same time, I think it just looks so strong. It's gonna work the vast majority of the time.
And I mean, pre-flop maybe he won't fold most of his range, but by the river,
I can barrel.
Yeah, you still have 3 more streets to tell a story about how strong your hand is and how much better it is than his hand there.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about, using the streets to tell your story. Queen 10 suited under the gun. You open this, it's like, at this stage in the day, you probably open it, but it's not.
Yeah, I assume so. Yep, I open.
Super profitable. All right, top pair. Interesting that you didn't go for a value bet here.
I think it's a good spot to check, because if I am not checking any tens here, like the hands that I would check, like ace king or ace queen and stuff, are just he can just bet any turn in river that don't hit me, and he's just gonna like insta profit. So I think checking like your weaker 10x here is gonna be the play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the worst 10x I have, so I think it's like the hand that you want to check the flop with.
You got jack 10 suities, 9-10 suities.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like, suited combos are so rare, so not
exactly.
Much. Okay, so we check back. Easy to be able to call a bet when he checks. Easy. What? How do you not bet the turn on this? Draw heavy of a board? Misclick?
Yeah. I'm not happy with the turn. Like I don't think it's horrible. Like, but I would still like to. If I had the queen of hearts somehow, if I queen off the queen of hearts, I would like a check.
Yeah.
But I think with this exact hand, with having no heart in my hand, that there's a lot of really bad river cards. I should probably bet.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so the river's bad, and you just check it down. And win. Nice value, bro. Way to get paid on that top pair.
That's how you do it.
Flop top pair, get nothing. All right, so we got some folds. Did you late reg this, or you read it from the start?
I pre-regged everything, so I'm pretty sure I started at the beginning.
Okay. That's good. Eventually, I mean, actually, you can handle all the volume, so it's fine.
Yeah.
When you get like later into your career and you got to be more selective how many tables you can play, then the late reg strategy is very essential to maximizing your ROI and your hourly.
Okay.
I'll make a video on that someday.
The old man game.
Yeah. Negreani's probably got it down pretty well.
Right.
You got some right. I mean, the fact that he still does what he does at his age against all these super young guns says a lot about how much work he's put in.
It's so impressive.
Yeah. And it's something that can be emulated for sure. It takes a lot of work. I mean, if Jeff Gross is still here, he knows how important that exercise and healthy living and good mindset is for tournament poker. Anyway, we got ace king. Raise the button. Got a defend from the big blind. Let's see what kind of flop we're working with. Pretty good flop. How many streets of value do you usually go for?
Depends on the run out, but obviously, like, 3 is like the amount you want to get.
We're looking for 3, so we're gonna start with a bet. I like the sizing. board's getting a bit more draw heavy. I like a big bet on the turn. Nice sizing. And river, can't see him having too many fours.
Yeah, like ace four exactly, and that's like it. But
Now,
I'm feeling pretty good.
do you expect to only get paid by an ace here, or are there's some sizings you could take where you can get heroed by a queen as well?
I don't really see any sizings where a queen will call. Like even if you bet 1/5 pot, it's just like you're betting for value here, like with almost all the time. So like a queen is gonna be like, no, I'm not. Like I think this sizing looks a lot better to get called by a queen than like 1/5 pot. But I still don't think a queen's gonna want to call like a third of the stack here on the river.
Yeah, so we might as well just bet like somewhere between 2K and 3K and expect to get paid by an ace. And
Exactly. Yeah.
that's okay. My guess was 24. You
Correct.
bet you bet 24.
Correct.
I feel so good when I make these guesses correctly. Makes me feel like I actually have a bit of a clue as to what I'm doing. Nice hand. Nice hand. Nice values. That's what you do, guys. You get Delta Premium, you get a premium flop for your hand, and then you bet the right amount to get paid. Good stuff. We got some folds. King Queen we're gonna open, but just barely.
Just barely. I remember this hand I was just like snap folding. And I was like, I'll open it. We're 8-handed.
Yeah. Interesting flop. You got 2 overs. You got a gut shot.
Yeah. I think like this is the hand that you definitely want to bet on this flop because in terms of bluffs, we have Queen 10 suited and King Queen exactly. So like we need this is a hand that's like a mandatory bet here. I think.
Yeah, I think we'd also bet like King 10 of hearts, King 10 of diamonds.
King 10 suited. Yeah, that's another hand.
If you got Ace King Ace Queen, are you just checking them on this board and just kind of
I'm just check folding.
Yeah, I find these boards that have like 2 high middle-ish cards just are not good for the pre-flop raiser or like the pre-flop big blind defender, and it's just so easy for the person with the in-position wider range to just like apply heaps of pressure on these boards.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that it's okay to just check fold a lot of the time when the board doesn't favor you at all. Like a lot of people just like see bet like, ace king and ace queen here, and like I think it's definitely a losing play. So that's just something to keep in mind.
We bet get called. Turn is not helpful for us.
It's not helpful, but I still think it's a bet.
Tell me why.
So in terms of your turn bets, what bluffs do you have here?
In terms of my turn bets,
Yeah.
pretty much the same ones that we talked about on the flop. Although
Right.
I don't know if
and
we
like
keep
you're still betting 9s and 5s here, right? And you're still betting like your over pairs. So
Yes,
like you have
yes.
so many like value hands that for you to not be betting this hand just seems like a complete leak in your game.
Yeah.
And like you could still get there, you know. A 10 will give you a straight, obviously, and then like a queen or a king could very easily be good here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Small size though.
I would go pretty big with my overpairs as well. If you, like to charges like Jack 10s and like his pair on straight draw type hands. So like I think betting bigger is the play.
Cool. So we bet big. Nice value, Ali. Way to burn that 1,320 chips, bro. Way to burn. What did you think he was floating the flop with?
Well, I didn't, but I didn't see what raising hands he should have here. I don't think he should have any raising hands actually.
I mean, I think he can flat his sets on the flop and raise the turn. I mean, maybe that's a
Right.
2006 play.
But for real. But then like if you're gonna do that, you gotta have bluffs, right? Like, are you gonna raise queen 10 here? Like, what if I jam? You're gonna fold queen 10? You're just like
all right,
losing a lot of equity.
Wait, let me pause you there.
Okay.
Because at a high stakes level and at a balance level and GTO level, yes, you need to have some bluffs there. But in Timbies, when we're playing tournaments, honestly, I think there are a lot of spots where you can have a purely value range, absolutely no bluffs, and no one's going to punish you for it because they're tournament players.
I agree. But like, you know, I feel like I understand what's going on in that spot. So I'm snap folding aces there to his raise. You know, so I think it just makes it a really bad raise for him if he does have a set. So like, you know, even if he does only have value, like I'm gonna fold aces. So like, what's he really trying to accomplish right there?
True. Lesson for the viewers: don't give your opponents too much credit. Just because you're a super wizard genius poker player does not mean that they know that, or does not mean that they know how to give you credit for that. But
Yeah.
it's good that you are that, because when you do play against someone who's like that, you can know what's up. Like Trimine. All right, we defend the big blind with Jack 10 and probably check fold. That was not an interesting hand. Ace 2 suited. Let's 3-bet this guy again. Got him. He's not liking you right now. Fours? Yeah, raise and take. All right, speeding up the action. King 10, raise and take. These pre-flop hands are really easy to analyze.
Yeah.
Fold. Probably fold. Yeah, fold. Might play 10-8. No, we're not playing 10-8 for that price. Fold. I'm going to guess you fold this. Yeah, good fold, man. Good fold with the Jack 7 suities.
I was tempted.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's suited.
Okay.
You're like...
This next hand, I'm not going to, like, say what I think until you tell me what you think.
All right.
But
King 10?
Yeah, the King 10 suited. So
Okay.
let's start with pre-flop.
Okay.
So do you think this should be a raise or a check? Because the original limper is playing 2013, and he's like, I'm pretty sure he's a reg, so like I was really surprised to see a limp here.
Yeah.
And when a reg limps here, I assume he limps because he thinks the players behind him are aggressive. Because I know Syndicate is pretty aggressive, and I assume he thinks I'm pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
So like when he limps here, I expect him to have like a lot of suited Broadway hands. So like, do you like raising King 10 suited here?
I think against these types of limper, like basically, I would look at his VPIP, and
Right.
I see that his VPIP is only 20. So against this type of player, who I think is mostly calling when he limps and has a pretty strong range when he's limping, I don't think there's a ton of value in raising. Whereas if his VPIP was like 40 or something, then I would raise like 90% of the time. So
I agree.
I think
100%.
starting with a check here is totally fine. There's no need to inflate this pot when you have kind of have like an even match with King 10 suited against his range, you know?
Yeah, and we're going to be out of position, which is not a good factor. And there's a lot of boards that are actually going to favor, like not really favor his range, but like if it becomes like 5, 6, 7 suited, he can rep those hands while we really can't.
Yeah.
So like that's also a drawback. So I ended up raising, which I obviously don't like, but
Okay.
it happened.
I don't.
What do you think to do on this board?
Okay, let me see what I don't think it's a big like as Cal would always tell me when I'd ask him about spots, he'd be like, honestly, man, the EV of both plays, like, it's pretty neutral. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
So like
That's how most plays are, though. So like I think like trying to figure out what the best one is the way to do it.
yeah. Okay, so you flopped open-ended, no backdoor flush draw, but you do have but it really hits his like limp calling range, right?
Exactly. I think this is a check, but
I don't think you're getting raised that often, though, and I think you want to get maximum value if he has flop top pair, if you manage to like improve. So I think I'd bet like 800 on this flop. Since I don't expect many folds, but I kind of want to maintain the lead in the hand, I would bet, but I would bet small.
Okay, yeah. Then, I think that's a good adjustment. Actually, I ended up betting too big. Then, yeah, I agree. I was thinking check, but I think betting a smaller size might actually be the way to go.
Yeah. Wow. And then you get check raised here. That's so nasty.
Yeah. So like at the time, I was like, I really hated my bet. Like right there, I was like, why did I? And once I get checked, I was like, okay, what's going on here? I was like I don't tilt when I lose hands. I just tilt when I play bad. So at this time, I was like, wow, I really suck at poker right now. So like I was just like, all right, I'm over it, and I just ended up piling the chips in. So I'm never drawing dead. So I was okay with it.
Yeah, I was looking at like if there wasn't a player behind you, you actually do have the price to peel barely because of implied odds, but with him behind, you kind of. Although with an open ender, if you're gonna have the price to call off on the turn anyway, which you almost are, you should probably just call to invite the other guy in so you can. Because with a drawing hand, you want more people who can pay you off if you're drawing to the nuts, right?
Right.
Like the idea with when you have the nut flush draw as opposed to the 4-high flush draw, you want to be more inclined to just call and keep people in, whereas with the low draw, you want to raise to try to blow out the medium draws so you can't get dominated.
I was thinking that like since we had like the right odds like peel and turn, peel and turn shove anyway. From it's close, it's not exactly the right odds, but I think I would have done it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, if there's even like a 2% chance he's folding here, I think I should go for it. And like he tanked like all the way down, and I was feeling pretty good about it. And then he just calls me with Queen 10.
Yeah, it's just a spot where you've shown so much strength, the limp caller has shown so much strength that I think it's pretty ambitious to think someone's going to try a bluff, especially for half their chips.
Extremely ambitious.
Whatever. You turn the nuts. So
Yeah, that's how it's done.
get rid of that. On to the next one. People messaging me on Skype. I'm working, guys. No respect these people. They just want
No
all your
respect.
attention all the time. No.
That's because you're grips, man.
Should have just stayed as Evan. Life was simpler when I was Evan, but it wasn't as much fun. I think the trade was worth it.